Hey guys, it's Heather from Kell of a Plan, and this week we're going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel. We're going to be chatting. This week I'm on a cruise. I'm not on a cruise right now while I'm filming. I'm obviously in my office. But when you watch this, I'm going to be on a cruise with Piffany. I sell clothes through a company called Piffany with my twin sister. We earned a free cruise, and we are cruising. So this week I am not going to be planning very much. I'll probably take my planner. But I won't be planning very much because I'll be on a cruise. So this week I'm going to change it up a little bit on my channel. And instead of doing a bunch of planner videos, we're still going to be talking planner things, but it's going to be more of chatting videos where each day I'm going to cover a different planner topic and we're going to chat about it here. And it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to chat about these topics with you guys. I hope you check it out. Please feel free to leave comments about whatever topic we're talking about. And just know that I may not respond to your comments until I get back from my cruise. Just want to throw that out there. I'm not ignoring comments. I'm just on a boat. So we're going to be chatting about 4 different topics. I'm super excited and I can't wait to talk planners with you guys. Welcome back to day 2 of our chatting series for this week. I'm super excited to be here with you guys today. And today we are going to be talking about why I started planning and why I keep planning. So I've basically been a planner my whole life. I think that I got my first planner when I was in middle school. When I was in middle school, we called them agenda books, but it was a planner. And we were required to carry them to every class. We were required to write down homework and test. Our teachers would sign out every time we went to the bathroom. Like, it had to be there in every class. Your parents had to sign it every night. And that is what kind of implemented this passion for planning in my heart and in my soul. It started in middle school, so it's pretty young, but I'm really thankful that even at a young age, I learned the importance of planning, because ever since then, it's just something that's been implemented into my lifestyle. I will say that once I became an adult with a job, you would think that that is when I really needed to keep up with a planner, but that was also when a planner just kind of fell to the wayside for me. Every single school year, I was a teacher, so I would buy a planner, and I remember I would sit down right before school started, and I'd fill out all of the days we were off work, and I'd fill in all of the testing days and things like that, and I'd be like, yes, this is the year. This is the year I'm going to keep a planner. And I'd use it for about maybe a month. A good year, I'd use it for a month. And then I'd put it in my teacher bag, and it would never come out. Or I'd stick it on my shelf in my classroom, and it would never surface again. I was just really bad about making planning a habit, which I have a video, if you haven't checked it out, I have a video on how to make planning a habit, so I definitely suggest checking that out if that's something that you struggle with. Well, then 2015 came around, and 2015 was a big year for me. I like to call it the year of new. I had a new husband, I had a new house in a new city, I got a new car, we got a new dog, and the biggest thing was I got a new job. I had been teaching in the classroom for I think about 6 years by that point, and in 2015 I transitioned to an instructional specialist role, and I went back to one of my old elementary schools. And that instructional specialist job was something I had worked for years. It was my dream job. I honestly never thought I would leave that job. I loved it. But it came with so many different hats, so many different things that I was involved with and in charge of. I was in charge of the website, I was in charge of social media, I was in charge of the grade books, I was in charge of broadcast, I was in charge of teaching with the teachers, making sure everyone had their technology. I was in charge of curriculum writing. There was just so many different things, and I was instantly overwhelmed. I remember sitting at my desk on my very first day. It was about a week before teachers came back. And I remember just sitting there and crying, and I'm not a crier, so it was a big deal. I was just crying because I was like, there's so much. I don't know how to keep up with it all. I was so overwhelmed. I had never had that feeling of overwhelmingness, is that a word? Be like so big and so like, I had never experienced that level of overwhelm. And so instantly I knew I have to get a planner. Like, I had a digital calendar. I was the instructional technology specialist. Of course, I had a digital calendar. But I also knew that me and the way my brain works, I needed to write it out on paper. I knew that that would help me. So I went to Target. I bought some little dinky planner. I don't even remember what it was. But it was a small one. And I was like, this will work. And I remember I filled in all the dates. I loved it. And then a week later, I taught a training at our teacher academy, our back to school teacher academy. And there was a teacher in my class who had a happy planner. I had never seen it before. I had never heard of it before. They were fairly new. The Happy Planner came out, I think, in April of 2015. And so this was August of 2015. I'm teaching this training, and I was teaching it with 3 or 4 other people, and so I wasn't having to teach the whole time. And if we weren't the ones up there teaching, then we were supposed to be walking around and monitoring. And so I would keep walking around to her table, and I remember I'd be like, what is this? And I'd like peek over her shoulder. She had all these stickers. Of course, back then there weren't sticker books like there are now, but she did have some stickers. She had washi tape. She was showing people at her table how you could take the pages out. And I was like, what is this? I need this. I had already bought a planner, but I was like, this is magical. And so I like asked her, I was like, what is this? And she's like, it's a Happy Planner. And I was like, what's a Happy Planner? Where do I get one of these? And so she told me they're at Michael's, they're at Hobby Lobby. Back then it was very hard to find. I think they only came out with like 4 or 5 designs, and they were only at some Hobby Lobbies and some Michael's. And at this point they had been out for a few months, and so a lot of them had sold out. And so they were really hard to find. And I really wanted the white cover with the gold dots, which was at Hobby Lobby. I never found it, so I settled for a different one. It's actually, my first planner is actually right here. Let me pull it out. This is not the cover that it came with. This is my first planner. Look how chunky it is. This planner saved my life. Y'all don't even understand. Like, it's chunky because it was the only planner that I used for the whole year, for work, home, everything. And I washi taped the crap out of it. That's probably another reason it's so chunky. But I finally found the one, it was like a watercolor chevron, and it had a quote on the front. And it wasn't my favorite design. That's probably why I washi taped so much of it. But I was so excited to have this planner. It did take me several weeks to actually buy it. When I finally found them at stores, I remember my husband was with me at Michael's, and he was like, you already have a planner. Why do you need this one? You already have one. And I was like, you're right. We were newlyweds. We were trying to be, financially smart. And he's like, you don't need to buy another one. So I was like, okay. Then I went back to Michael's, and I was like, he was with me again. I don't know. He used to go to Michael's a lot with me. He doesn't do that anymore. But anyway, we're looking at it. I'm like, I just love it. And he's like, you already have a planner, Heather. I was like, you're right. Well, then I went back one time without him, and there was a 60% off coupon. And I remember I called him and I said, Matthew, I know I already have a planner, but I just really want this planner. And I just really, really want it. And I have a 60% off. And he said, Heather, just buy the freaking planner. Just buy it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Little did he know that buying that planner meant he was going to talk about planners forever, but whatever. So I bought the planner. I came home. I was so excited. I remember this office used to actually be his office, and his computer was over here, and he was playing games on his computer. And I remember I sat at a desk that was right over there, and I did my very first spread. And I remember I looked up the Happy Planner Instagram, and they had just announced their design team for that year, and I was like, what is this? And so I started looking up all of the girls who were on their design team. And I was like, look at all these amazing things they're doing in their planner. And I remember I had all the photos pulled up on my computer. And I made this spread. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. That's a whole other thing. If you have not seen my flip through of my first planner, it's hysterical. I'll link it. You need to go check it out. But I did this based off looking at all these other spreads. And I was addicted. Now, it's terrible. But I was addicted. And ever since then, I have planned every single week since September of 2015. And it has changed my world. So I've kind of told you the story of how I got into planning, but I still haven't really touched on why. I told you I got a new job and all that things, but the main reason that I needed a planner, like I said earlier, was I knew I needed to write it down. I am a very technology savvy person. I love technology. I love apps. I love all of that. I mean, it was my job to be technology savvy, but there's something about paper and pen and writing it down that it gets stuck in your brain, and it feeds your soul. And I just craved it, and I still do. And so I knew, in my brain, I'm very forgetful. And so writing things down helps you to remember them. So I knew if I wrote this stuff down, I will remember it better. And so that is why I got into planning. I was so overwhelmed. I had so much newness in my life, and I just needed a way to organize it all. And so I picked up the Happy Planner, And another thing that I loved about the Happy Planner was it wasn't just a planner. I had tried to use planners my whole life, but never stuck to one for a full year until the Happy Planner. And that's because the Happy Planner incorporates that creativity into your planner. And I've always been a creative person. I've always been the crafty one. And so the fact that I could combine my craving for organization with my craving for creativity into one spot, it was the perfect combination for me. So that's why I got into planning. And the reason that I've kept up with planning is because since I picked up this very first planner, since I started planning, my life has literally changed. Of course, it's changed on the side of it's now like my job. I have this YouTube channel. I have all these other avenues through Kell Plan that bring in income. So now it's one of my main jobs, this and then my boutique with my sister. So that's one reason it has quite literally changed my life. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the planning aspect. Planning out my life has literally changed my life. It has brought me peace. I can plan out my days and know that they're organized and know that I can get things done. I don't go to bed at night stressed about my to-do list because I know exactly what is on my to-do list and I know exactly when I'm going to get those things done because I planned it in my planner. So I don't have to go to bed stressed out because I know what the plan is. That has changed my life. Our finances has changed ever since I started budgeting on my monthly view. It has changed my family's finances. We have been able to pay off over $20,000 in debt because of budgeting in my planner. We've paid off our student loans, our Jeep, our AC, and then there's one other, but I can't remember. We've paid off over $20,000 in debt. That would have never happened if I was not focused in and planning out our finances. My spiritual walk, a lot of you guys know I'm a Christian. It's a big deal to me. It's a big part of my life. I will say I don't think I've ever been as strong in my faith as I am now. And the reason for that is because I started a faith planner several years ago. I think I've been doing it for 2 or 3 years now. And the way I am, I can't leave a planner spread blank. It drives me crazy if it's blank. And that like OCD in me where I can't leave it blank is honestly what drives me a lot of time to do my quiet time and to do my Bible study because I can't leave it blank. I need to do it. And so that alone has like pushed me further in my walk with Christ and made me like stronger and more firm in what I believe. That alone has also changed my life. There's so many different aspects where planning has literally changed my life. I can look back to the day. It's so funny because when I bought this planner, I thought I was just buying a planner. I didn't realize I was picking up something that was quite literally going to change my life. But it did, and I'm so thankful. So that's kind of my story of why I started planning and why I keep planning. I hope it encourages you. If you're not a planner, I encourage you to find one that works for you. I love the Happy Planner, but there's lots of different brands out there that you can check out. And just find the things that work for you in your planner, because I promise if you can make your planner work for you, it'll change your life too. So I'd love to hear in the comments what made you start planning and why you keep planning. I'd love to start that conversation and hear from more of you about how that's affected your life. And yeah, if you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, and happy planning.